Hi, interweb. It's KJ and Marianne. We interrupt our discussion of Yankee Candle to bring some hard news. Tonight, it was so awful.
I cried so much.
We experienced one of the most horrible things that's ever happened to us, and we needed to tell you about it so that there will never be a chance that it would happen to you.
We made the sacrifice.
We went to see... I don't think I'll ever be able to say its name again. Mary Poppins, the musical. Otherwise known as Descent into Hell. So, we just need to tell you some things about what happened at Mary Poppins, the musical. It's really so...
It's really hard to talk about.
Simply said, step in time. Time ain't the only thing they stepped in. Okay. Produced by Disney.
And Cameron McIntosh.
So, we had free tickets. Free tickets. Thank you, friend who gave me free tickets. Or not. But now we know where there were free tickets. So, I hadn't seen any footage.
Me neither.
It replaced Lion King at 42nd Street after I'd left New York. I hadn't really seen anything about it. In fact, until I called Marianne and said, do you want to go see this because I have free tickets, it hadn't even really occurred to me that this was, going to be the Disney version that we all know and love. I was like, oh yeah, I'll know the music. And even going in, my expectations were low.
Yes.
But I'm like, they probably can't really mess up Mary Poppins. It's imaginative, it's already campy, it's already big costumes and big ridiculous things happening, and super famous songs by the Sherman Brothers. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, as long as they just sort of stick to the story, I think this will be fun. Even if it's just Mary Poppins on ice, which is most of what Disney theatrical does. Maybe you need to know a little bit about Marianne, because she is the goddess of all musicals. She likes musicals more than I do. She likes musicals...
Not anymore. Not after this.
Okay, the first thing that happened when the curtain went down, Marianne turned to me and said, I don't think I like musicals anymore. The second thing she said was, I want to die. Okay. So this is important. You need to listen. Do not turn this off. It could save a life.
Or lots of money if you didn't get free tickets. Or just a few hours of your time.
So, as we walk out at the end of the show, the 3-hour show, the poster has the press quote from Variety, which says...
It over-delivers on every level.
That was not a compliment.
And yet they put it on the side of their truck.
Because that's exactly what happens. So, we're going to try to hit the main points. You walk in, first of all, they've got the name written across on a gobo on the screen, which to me says, we're not about to see a play, we're about to see a movie. Mm-hmm. That's sort of a branding genre thing that Disney does, and I hate it. But I can overlook that because it's Disney. And we had to walk past Radio Disney doing karaoke pop for kids in the lobby.
Justin Bieber.
We literally covered our ears and ran. So, the curtain rises. It's sort of a strange silhouette. Up out of a chimney comes Bert. And then all of a sudden, the things that you think were building start moving, and it's people. And it was great. It was like, ooh, it's like Edward Gorey. Mm-hmm. It's sort of gothic, creepy, London smoky. And as we're sitting there thinking about, ooh, that's interesting, you suddenly realize that we're already halfway into another musical number. There are already characters moving. We don't know who they are. There's a lady with a dog puppet and a giant admiral looking at her butt with binoculars.
Yeah.
The telescope. So already I'm lost. The only thing this production had going for it was the set.
Yes. The sets were very cool.
Clearly designed after some of the original illustrations from the Mary Poppins books by P.L. Travers. So lovely sort of pencil-drawn, wing drop, forced proscenium, kind of nice stuff.
And then it just all went to hell.
It just went to hell. There was like naked statues dancing, and then,
spandex.
and then there was a monkey man. And then
there was no Sister Suffragette. The feminist song by Mrs. Banks that's amazing. And the whole point that they need a nanny is she's so busy working for women's rights to vote, which in the movie is awesome. I didn't understand half the words as a kid, and now when you listen to it, you're like, this is so amazing and feminist.
How does it go? How's the song?
Cast off the shackles of yesterday, shoulder to shoulder into the fray. Our daughters will adore us, and we'll sing in grateful chorus. Well done. And you know, they wear the sash.
Oh, well done. Do.
Well done. And they wear the sash.
Yes.
And it was this whole thing, and that's why they needed a nanny, was because she was so busy with her charity work, working with the suffrage movement. But in the musical, there's no fun suffragette song, and it's just that she's like, I want to do whatever I can to please you, Mr. Banks. And he's like, you're supposed to do charity and invite important people over. And she's just like, I'm so inadequate, and I thought I would be a good wife, but I just can't be. And it's the saddest, like...
And the major song we get is the father singing about, you know... Things have to be this way, precision.
But not the movie song.
But not the movie
awesome
song.
And full of amazing vocabulary.
Because here's what happens to the whole thing. Any narrative... What is the note I made? Any storyline that you're familiar with from the film has been removed.
Take it away.
And instead has been inserted a whole other storyline about Mr. Banks and his nanny, who is apparently evil because we meet her, and she eventually gets sent to hell in a cage.
In a cage. That
happens.
And then we kind of pretend that she just left. And she didn't give a reason. But it's because Mary Poppins sent her to hell.
With red and green stage lighting.
And smoke coming up.
And iron bars.
In front of the children.
Yeah. And then they laugh. So there's this whole storyline about Mr. and Mrs. Banks need to work out their issues, and who are they? Who are they? And meanwhile, Mary Poppins just randomly shows up, like a little video image.
We don't interview other nannies. There isn't the position has been filled. None of that. She just shows up.
Yeah, everything that is familiar. Basically, they made this whole story assuming that, people already know all the songs, they know the story, so we don't have to tell the story. We don't even really have to sing the songs. In fact, they know the songs. Let's write some new ones, and we'll only slightly reference the songs you know. So instead of them going on a fantasy journey and Mary Poppins winning the race and saying, I feel supercalifragilisticexpialidocious
on the carousel horses.
Instead, she takes them to a Caribbean woman's store. That sweet shop where she sells words, and it looks like Cirque du Soleil's B team tour. And all of a sudden they pull out letters, and what can we spell with an S?
They're
buying
letter, yeah.
And we find out that her father used to go there, though how if he had the evil nanny? And then they just randomly start singing supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Over and over.
It went on for about 20 minutes.
With new lyrics and just lots of can-can. Lots of can-can.
And they all had, Dr. Seuss hair and white makeup. It was very French-Canadian in a bad way.
And then should we talk about the toys?
So you think supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, they're all at the front of the stage, they're doing kick lines, there's, footlights, and it's all kind of French-looking all of a sudden. You think, great, this is the Act 1, bring the curtain down, send them out excited. Oh, it goes on for 25 more minutes, and the curtain ender is randomly, Jane throws a disturbing, non-Raggedy Ann looking doll with long yellow arms with red hands,
but they're
red
long,
hair, called Valentine. And
about how she doesn't like him, and
it's just a toy. It's mine. I don't care. And so its arm gets broken, and then see
Mary Poppins is like, "Be careful how you treat your toys."
And then she puts it in the dollhouse, And then the second she shut that dollhouse, I was like, oh shit.
And it turns
that
red.
Thing's coming back.
Red light. And everything else on the stage is dark.
Red.
We're in their bedroom. We're in the children's nursery.
And everything goes red. And a hand with long red fingers comes
slaps
out.
across the dollhouse.
And then a pasty, paunchy
and Mary Poppins is like,
man made of cloth that's much like Stephen King's It, Pennywise, comes out. Does a dance followed by a monkey man and a rabbit man. And then people with long, lanky arms.
And the children are asleep during this. And she's like singing this song called Playing the Game, Playing the Game. And it's like all about, like, no! And it's all about how, like, when you play with your toys, you better play right. Because they'll come back to get you. It's like the horror version of Toy Story. And, yeah, and so then she's like, let's wake up the kids. And so they wake them up, and they're like, what's going on? And they mime being scared, and the, like, toys, like, messing with them, and carrying them through the air. And
it ends with Mary Poppins apparently taking all their toys away.
Like, this'll teach them.
So let's just revisit. So the lesson they're learning there, which came out of nothing, is you need to play with your toys and respect them.
Playing the game.
And yet, when we get Spoonful of Sugar, it's not, oh, the room is a mess. Oh, we don't want to do our chores. No, we'll have fun. And chores, just a little sweetness to something that you don't like medicine is great.
Mm-hmm.
No, instead, they go into the kitchen, ransack, like, destroy the kitchen.
The cook has been preparing for a party that the mom's holding.
And for no reason, like, let's do it ourselves, brother! And then everything's destroyed. And then Mary Poppins comes in, the mother comes in, why have you done this? No one says, you behaved wrongly, you're gonna receive a punishment, or you're gonna, lose something that you liked until you learn your lesson. No, she's like, oh, we can clean this up with just a spoonful of sugar. Like, so suddenly Spoonful of Sugar is solving, it's not addressing the destruction and the bad behavior. It's just a reason to sort of recreate Beauty and the Beast, like the shelves move.
Yeah.
And then the medicine thing, which instead of it being like, oh, another thing that you have to do, like cleaning your room, is you have to take your medicine. But if we add some sugar, it makes it go down.
Yeah.
Instead, she just randomly, while they're in the kitchen cleaning up a mess, pulls out this bottle and she's like, taste it. Taste it. And she gives it to the kids, and they're like, oh, it tastes like strawberry ice. Oh, it tastes like lime cordial. But we don't know why, because she didn't say, here, let me sprinkle my Mary Poppins dust on it. And then she goes up to, like, the servant guy. He's like, taste this. And then she, like, assaults the mother and, like, makes her take it.
And the mother's like, no. No.
She says no.
I don't want your
And Mary Poppins is like,
medicine.
okay.